All right, peace, Ali. And I'm pretty sure I should be live. There's a slight delay in this, so I'll make sure that I am being heard and seen. Whenever you can hear and see me, press 9 in the chat box. Whenever you can hear me and see me, press 9 in the chat box. Make sure we all good. What up, Kingsley? Seeing you early, Keita, Miss Conscious Lady. Brittany, what's up, Brittany? Nat 95ization, Tamika. I appreciate that. I'm good. I'm good. How's everybody doing? Everybody fine? It's been a minute since I've been on here live, so I definitely want to hop on this week. So, in typical fashion, I'm just taking questions. If you've never done a live with me before, I'm not really big into people giving me thanks and tell me, about stuff that really doesn't have anything to do with questions. I appreciate all the compliments and all that stuff, but it's unnecessary. My main focus here is to come and provide a free content and answer questions for you. I know a lot of people aren't in position where they can have somebody that they can bounce ideas off of. I make myself available. So I don't need any cheerleading and tomfoolery and all that good stuff, man. Just simple questions. I give you my best answers. Before I begin, just know that this channel and everything I do for free is sponsored by L9shop.com. The number 9shop.com. That is my online store. And that's the best way to support me. So if you've been getting the free content, you're receiving benefits from it. We have everything that you need for your metaphysical purposes, things that you're already copping anyway. I suggest that you go to our store if you want to support me in what we're doing, l9shop.com. Also, for this month, we have 25% off crystal sets. Use set 25 for the code. I'm pretty sure that's it. Set 25, SET 25, and that's the code to get 25% off all the crystal sets. All right. Also, Spiritual Master Accelerator program, spiritualaccelerator.com. If you're wanting to work with me in a group of like folks for a very affordable price, that's my flagship program. Highly suggest that you look for that if you're looking to connect with like-minded people and work with myself. All right, enough commercials. I'll remind everybody at the end, but for now, let's go ahead and get to the questions. Remember to put question or question mark before your question, and I will answer it for you. So let's begin, yo. Uh, what do you know about soul traveling and soul retrieval? You're talking about two different things. Soul travel can be looked at as astral projection or astral travel. That's another way of putting it. Basically, they're synonymous. Soul travel and astral traveling. Plus, degree to astral traveling is that's something that everyone do at night anyway. Every human astral travels. Even if you don't recall your dream, you're astral traveling. You're coming out your body and you're going to other dimensions. Usually it's the fourth dimension or the astral plane or whatever. So even if you're not recalling your dreams, you're still astral. Now, there's a difference when you're consciously astral traveling. That means that you're aware that you're in a dream, you're able to project yourself, you're able to go different places. But the key word is you're conscious, you're aware of it or whatever. So soul travel, astral travel, same thing. Soul retrieval is different. That is from the best of my ability, from best of my recollection. That is a Mesoamerican or South American term where you have everybody's soul has certain fractions to it. Depending on your life, if you're using drugs, if you've been raped, cheating, murder, lying, just a lot of different conditions can have you lose parts of your soul. So when that happens, what the shamans call is soul retrieval is when you have to put back the fragments of your soul. That's the best way I can put it. Say your soul has, let's say for a number, the number is 500 or something, but say your soul had 100 fragments, and say you went through a rape when you were 12 years old and you lost like 5 fragments of your soul. Therefore, your soul is not all the way intact. So a shaman or an advanced spiritual practitioner is able to retrieve parts of your soul. That's what they mean by that. All right, hold on, y'all. This is kind of going kind of fast now. Question: how do you know if you've experienced Kundalini energy? You would know if you experience Kundalini energy. You're in the Accelerator program, so you know about the chakras. Usually, you'll have some sort of pulsating or vibration to a chakra. Another way you can tell is if you're doing a bunch of spiritual practices, or you're taking a bunch of supplements, or a combination of both, and you're starting to have physical, mental, emotional, or energetic changes to you, and they're kind of abrupt and they're kind of extreme. That's when you know you may have some sort of Kundalini energy circulating. But the thing is, we're always having our Kundalini energy. It fluctuates, just like the chakras in your aura fluctuates, same as your Kundalini, because the Kundalini is coming from your chakras. So if your chakras are changing, energy is changing. But the way to know if it's changing drastically is you're gonna feel in a stream either up or down in your emotional, mental, or physical state. Please, I need help opening my third eye. I've made videos talking about the third eye. You can use crystals, herbs. Probably the best way and easiest way is changing your diet and really stepping up your meditation practice. So I'm not going to go back and repeat things I said in videos, but go into my channel, look up the third eye activation videos. I just made one dealing with crystals. I think I did one dealing with meditation or whatever. I made a few of them. So go back into my channel. But the easiest way, just to give you something now, diet and meditation. You go to a vegan diet or cut the meats out and the sugar and get to an alkaline state and increase your meditation, your third eye is going to open by a natural process. I would like to know when you will have your next retreat and what are your thoughts on ayahuasca for spiritual enlightenment. Next retreat is always in April. I'm not all the way certain that I'm going to do a fourth one. I've done it 3 years in a row. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it for the fourth year. I'm leaning, it's like 50-50. If you know anything about me, I really don't put my human mind on it. I go by spirit. So whenever the spirit tells me put it out, that's when I'll put it out. As far as ayahuasca, ayahuasca is a very, very interesting thing. And this is my take on it. There's a couple takes I have on it. For one, when I was researching pineal gland, the third eye, and that's obviously going to take you to dimethyltryptamine or DMT, which is the active chemical in ayahuasca. When I first started studying that, I found it very weird that there were never melanated people talking about ayahuasca. All the videos, all the articles I seen European people. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. I'm just making a statement. So it made me think, like, why is there not a lot of melanated people talking about ayahuasca as far as firsthand experience? It was only later, within the past couple of years where I've heard melanated people talking about their experience. But it's sort of like the thing where I don't want to go too many side roads. But that struck me odd that there was not too many melanated people talking about it. Same like with near death experience. You really didn't hear too many people looking like me talking about it or whatever. Another thing that struck me very weird was that DMT is considered a Schedule A drug, meaning if you have ayahuasca, if we had an ayahuasca retreat in Ohio, the feds would come in and shut it down. Everybody go to jail. It's a Class A drug, meaning that it carries a heavy jail sentence or whatever. So I find that very weird that something that we naturally produce in our body, our pineal gland, DMT, that are illegal, but in South America, can go to a retreat. Long story short, my take on ayahuasca is if you're a balanced individual, if you have a spiritual practice, if you have a good knowledge of self, but you have a couple questions that you may have, ayahuasca is going to introduce that to you. But if you're living a chaotic life, you really don't know who you are, you're confused. From what I've seen in my research, I've never taken ayahuasca firsthand, but from what I've seen in my research, people that weren't stable emotionally, financially, mentally, all that good stuff, when they started taking ayahuasca, they had bad trips, man, or they had things that happened to them that their consciousness couldn't comprehend. So my advice for people is like, I wouldn't go off the deep end and just jump into ayahuasca, but it's an experience that you can have, but it's a stream. Let's put it like this. If you're scared of nightmares, if you're having nightmares and waking up scared, you may not want to take ayahuasca because the overwhelming consensus is to see different types of beings. So if that kind of spook you, you may have a quote unquote bad trip. But it's one of those things I suggest that you research as much as possible and talk to people that have done it. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice for that. Remember to thumbs up the video too, y'all, if you appreciate the free content. Okay, hi, hey Ali. I'm fairly new on my spiritual journey. 25. Congratulations, 25 on your journey. That's marvelous. What does it mean when I hear my name being called all day? My first initial reaction is you're being summoned by what? I'm uncertain. But if you have an altar or if you've been working with fairies or angels or something like that, I would associate your name being called with those beings. But it's one of those things I don't know off the bat just from that question, who's calling you. But my first initial reaction was, is something in the spiritual realm contacting you? Who, what? That's a whole different story. Not trying to tell you what I do during consultations. When I speak to people, it's going to be a whole different vibration than me just reading your answers on text. Even though I will get some pinpoint accurate answer, but for this, I'm not getting no for sure. This is what it is. So I don't want to tell you any misinformation. Astral travel is actually your soul going to different places. Remote viewing is you projecting your third eye. It's a part of your soul going to it, but astral travel is way much more of your soul. Where remote viewing is mostly using a little bit of your soul and mostly your third eye. Uh, I'm getting downloads, but I'm not getting messages. How can I best tap in? I hate to sound cliche and boring, but meditation. Deepen your meditation practices. Whenever downloads and you're not getting a clear message, it's because you have too much conscious chatter going on. In order to get the conscious chatter minimized, you have to go deeper within yourself. The best and easiest way to do that is meditation. So my simple answer for that is meditate more. If you're not meditating, start. If you're meditating for 20 minutes, do it for 30 minutes. Increase your meditation. Hey, what's up, Moon Goddess? Peace, Bree. Peace, Ori. Peace, Stephanie. Oh, hold on. I think I went too far. When I say melanated, I'm talking about people with melanin dominated skin. Oh, hold on. I miss a whole lot. Okay. Remember to put question. A lot of y'all got a lot of kind of reason questions. They're unforgivable acts. In my opinion, no. Gotta be very careful how I state this because I already know most people won't get it. Everything in this reality is an illusion. Everything in this reality is an illusion. No matter how extreme it seems, no matter how real it seems, everything in this reality is an illusion. It's temporary. So if someone did something to you, regardless of you think it was right or wrong, in this case, we're talking about people doing things that's unjust to you. If this is an illusion, did it really happen? Let's take another example. When people have things happen to them in a dream, they wake up, they're like, okay, that was a dream. That really didn't happen. Let's say that this reality was a dream. And when you come out the body, what most people call death or transition, you'll look back and all these things that happened to you really didn't happen. It was just a dream. So it's hard to understand this from a human conscious level. But for those who have awakened to higher states of enlightenment, you understand that this is an illusion. Everything that happens is temporary, and you better not take it to heart because everything you take to heart, you will take to the afterlife, and consequently, you will take to other lifetimes. I'll close with this. Everything in this reality, everything that happens to me, people, places, and things, I love them in a temporary state, meaning that I know this isn't real. You cannot get attached to physical things or you will be attached to this reality. That's what they call reincarnation. You're just attached to this reality. You can't let it go. Okay, Michelle, I heard that it's not good to trust in all of your ancestors, the ones that you have heard of but did not know. It could have been nasty when they were alive and they are the same in spirit. I don't get I see your statement. I see the question within your statement, but I don't live in that paradigm. I made a video called Ancestor Altar and Evil Family Members or something like that. Very popular video. I suggest that you look at that. But the way I'll explain it like this very quickly, and I've used this analogy before. If you have someone in jail, most people got someone in jail. Say y'all didn't get along. Say hell they cheated, they slept with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or they owe you money. Say y'all really didn't get along, but they're in jail and you're the only family member putting money on their books, going to visit them, sending them notes. Do you think they're going to hold whatever happened before? They're going to hold you accountable. More than likely, you're going to improve your relationship. So that analogy is akin to our ancestors that may not been favorable with us when we were living. Mostly when you take care of people, they look out for you. Can a past life regression help me meet my relatives who passed before I was born? More than likely not, unless those same ancestors were with you in previous lifetimes. But usually that's not a service that you would do for that. What can you say about someone born on July 19th, 1976 in numerology? That's funny you asked me that. I was thinking about doing like a numerology reading type thing or whatever, where people come on here, tell me their birthday, and I break them down, give a short summary. I still may do that. It's one of the things I plan on doing. But I tell you now, you're born in the year of the dragon, fire dragon, to be specific. 1976, born in the year of the fire dragon in Chinese astrology. Same year, actually, I was born in January 77, year of the fire dragon. 19 day 10-1, that's another fire energy. So just looking at that without going deep, that's a fire element you got going on. So this will either translate to someone being very active, it'll translate to either leadership qualities. It can either translate to people that burn bridges, meaning that you jump the gun. Somebody give you this much, you might cut them off or chomp them at the bit. Basically, you don't let nobody cross you wrong or whatever. You know, that's just a little bit, but without me looking at your math all the way. What are some of the reasons that blessings could be blocked? Main, I would just say the main reason. Main reason blessings get blocked, maybe not the main reason, but top three for sure, is lack of gratitude. Most humans are not appreciative of what they have. We may say, I'm thankful for this, I'm thankful for that, but if you were truly thankful and appreciative, you would try more. Just feel me on this. You may not agree, but just feel me. If you make $50,000 a year and you're doing money rituals, you're basically saying the money that I make is not enough. You're not saying that consciously, but if you're wanting more, you're basically saying it's not enough. Furthermore, you go to that same job and you quote unquote hate it. Hate your boss, you hate working there, you hate your hours and stuff like that. It's an energy of not being grateful. One of the things I did was when I would, and I've stated many times, I retired from a $30 an hour plus job. I drove a semi truck. I retired 2 years ago, over 2 years ago now. So I had a pretty, what you would call secure job. CDL in Ohio, I can get a job anywhere. I still have my CDL. But even when I was at my job and I was doing my spiritual business on the side, even though I wanted to be a full-time entrepreneur so bad, I was very appreciative at my job. I was appreciative that I had income that paid me. I was appreciative that I had a secure job. And furthermore, at that job, I was one of the top drivers. And I really, to be honest, it wasn't my goal. That wasn't my career. I knew for sure that I was going to retire soon. But when I retired, I left that company in a good position. I'm saying all that to say I was appreciative of the job. I didn't look at the negatives. I looked at the positives. And that's why it was hard to leave that job and become a full-time entrepreneur, because I had a quote unquote good job making quote unquote good money. So my advice is be more appreciative. That's one of the reasons people get their blessings blocked. Hope that makes sense. Is there a certain ancestor that you want to work with? Do you have to pay at their grave and ask permission? I've never heard of that. I don't recommend that. I don't see the reason for that. My answer would be no. Question: where's your favorite sacred site? Serpent Mound in Ohio. Look it up. Serpent Mound in Ohio. It's in Adams County, Ohio. You go to my YouTube channel. I actually have videos where I was at the Serpent Mound. So my favorite sacred site in Ohio is the Serpent Mound. My favorite sacred site that I've been to is Valley of Fire in outside of Las Vegas. Valley of Fire. Moon Goddess, if I remember correctly, she lives in Las Vegas. So she may be able to say something in the chat, but the Valley of Fire in outside of Las Vegas, my favorite sacred site. I consider that my home in the West. Do you know of anyone that can assist with soul retrieval or any book on soul traveling? Soul retrieval, no. Soul travel, just get any book on astral travel. They're basically all the same. A lot of like crystal books, meditation books, astral travel books, tarot books, astrology books, numerology books. They're all going to basically say the same information, yo. What I recommend is get a couple, read them both, look at them both, but pretty much they're going to say the same thing. They're just going to be worded differently and probably organized differently. All right, sure will, Stephanie. Okay, what's the best way to connect to your past lives? Also, some links in your site are not populating to the next page to where to start the prayer, how to start an altar. Okay, all right, I'll check that. Um, I made a video talking about the past lives. The way I tapped into the way I tapped into one of my past lives, I'm already know it's a very unusual way. The other way is I was told by someone. So I would say the best way to connect with your past lives from your own experiences would probably be your dreams. They would probably be your dreams. Now, decoding your dreams to know that it was a past life dream, that's a whole different scenario. But dreams are probably the easiest way to tap into your past lives. If you know someone who's a past life specialist, you can do that as well. Also, there's a term, a clinical term for hypnosis called past life regressions. I would suggest doing that. So three different ways. Hey, Rabbit Goddess, if that's I think I know what that is. Tanae. Question: are there unforgivable acts? I already answered that. I say no. Okay, what up, Ali? I have a question. I'm just getting started on my path. I bought a few crystals and I've begun to meditate, but I don't really know what to do next. Any advice or guidance will help. You'll just start wanting to be consistent. Um, like I mentioned many times, there's 20 million ways to meditate. It's as simple as close your eyes and taking deep breaths. Excuse me. So you just want to start being consistent. There's no next advice, next step for you because you haven't done the first step. The first step is become consistent with your practice. Get past the monkey mind, which is going to happen at first. Whenever you first started meditating, you're going to hear mind chat, monkey mind. It's just going to start conversating. You're going to be thinking about what you're going to do after you meditate. Did you turn the stove on? What you're going to go to the grocery store and get? What the kids doing? It's going to be all these random thoughts, whatever. The more you meditate, those random thoughts start to get softer and softer, and then you'll start hearing, for lack of better words, the voice of God or your higher self. I know, right? Very blessed to start their journey at a young age. I definitely was younger, but I wasn't like 18 or something like that. Is Twisted Trees in Sedona, Arizona a good spiritual retreat? Never heard of them. But if it's in Sedona, Sedona is a very, very interesting location. From what I've heard from other people that I trust that have high spiritual IQ, from what I've researched online and from what I felt within my spirit, Arizona, Sedona specifically has vortexes, has a bunch of energy that you can tap into. As far as I know, they have a lot of age metaphysical type stuff because that's one of those spots that a lot of people gravitate towards. So it may be very commercialized, so it may be people that's there that may not have true spiritual gifts or true spiritual energy. So with anything like that, you want to listen to people that's already been there. I've never been there, so I can't tell you firsthand experience, but I would go look at their customer reviews and talk to people that's actually been there. Is having sex? Hey, what's up, Jessica? She was at the last Soul Glow retreat. She's on video too. Is having sex in front of or in the same room as your ancestor altar a sign of disrespect to them? This is the first time I've ever had this question. And I have to be very careful on how I answer this question. I don't have to be very careful, but I want to be very careful on how I answer this question. My answer is no, man. My simple answer is no. Sex is a very natural process. That's like saying if you were in the same room to your altar and you farted or belch, is that a sign of disrespect? When it's naturally going to come out. Sex is a natural part of human nature. So if you're having sex in front of your altar, and I'm assuming that you're meaning that you have your altar in a bedroom and you're still having sex in there, I personally, and I can say from experience, I personally don't see anything wrong with it. And as someone with firsthand experience in this, I have never felt any negative repercussions from that. So that's my answer for that. Now, if you ask somebody else, they're going to tell you not to put the altar in the bedroom, period. But you ask me, and that's my answer. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Nothing wrong with it. In fact, let's go deeper. Let's go a little bit deeper. We give you a plus degree. Done in a sacred way or in a ceremonial type way, depending on the vibration of the deities or the energies on your altar, you can even quote unquote give an offering to them through your sexual energy. Especially if you're having sex either by yourself or with someone you trust or someone you love, you can do a short ritual, light a candle, do your offering, and say that you're giving your sexual energy or an orgasm to a particular deity. Now, this will work best if you're dealing with deities that have sort of a sexual disposition to them, like Aphrodite, Eros, Oshun, Venus, stuff like deities like that. You can give an offering of orgasm or your sexual energy. That's a little bit of a plus degree for y'all. I'm dealing with that question. But that's a very astute question. I've never received that before, so I thank you. I drove local. I had one overnight route where I went to Indiana. I stayed in Anderson in the Golden Corral Comfort Inn across from Golden Corral in Anderson, Indiana. I had one overnight route, but I worked 4 days, had two Cincinnati routes. I went to Cincinnati, had 4 booms delivering to La Rosa's, very local. I live about 20 minutes from Natty. So I was in Natty 2 days out of the week, and I drove to Indiana, slept overnight. So I drove 4 days, or I worked 4 days at that job. Okay, question. As far as giving offerings for ancestor deities, I'm not used to leaving food out. Do I need to worry about bugs and offerings like candy? Do we keep in a wrapper? Take it out. You keep the candy in a wrapper. I've never had any problems with bugs. Had one brother. He lived in Brooklyn and lived in a projects in Brooklyn, so you know what it is. And he had roach infestation. What he did was put a covered dish. He covered his food or whatever, gave us offering like that. Me personally, I haven't had any problems with bugs on the altar. If you have no if you have no problems with bugs in your crib and you start having an altar and you're starting to see a lot more bugs, that may be a sign that your altar is not in the right location. You're not giving enough offerings. You may not have the right deities on there, but it may be a sign that there's some sort of disruption of energy on your altar. But if you don't have any bugs and it's not been a problem, it shouldn't be a problem. I've never had a problem with it. You know what I mean? I've never had anybody else say they had a problem with it, except if they already had a bug problem. Then just use a covered dish. All right. Got mad questions, y'all. I'm gonna try to get as many of, but I'm keep it all the way a stack, y'all. I'm hungry, hungry than a mug. If I had an encounter with Bastet before I even knew who she was or even what spiritual parents were, could she be one of my astral parents? I would say more than likely, yes. Any practice on remembering dreams? I made videos on that. Switch the diet. If you're using drugs, cut it out. If you're eating before you go to bed, don't eat. Try to go to bed on an empty stomach. Drink as much water as possible. Keep water by your bed. You can keep third eye crystals under your pillow. Crystals like Motivite, amethyst, clear quartz, lapis lazuli. You can take herb called brilliant dreams. You can take herbs like mugwort, Kalia zakatachichi, favorite. Mix those together, drink it as a tea or smoke it. We also have at l9shop.com those herbs. Yeah, that's a few different. There's a lot of different ways. Depend it once again, if I speak with you, I'll be able to tell based on your system. But just out of a laundry list of things I stated, take one or two and apply it, and you'll know which ones to do. What can we do to keep our heart as light as a feather? Depends on your lifestyle, but laughing as much as possible and tapping into your childlike energy. Easy way to tap into your childlike energy is to get toys, things that you did as a kid, put that on your altar. So if you were a big GI Joe collector, which I was, any 80s baby, we grew up collecting GI Joes. But if you have GI Joes or if you had a favorite toy or something, that on your altar. Also, if you had a favorite movie as a child, watch that movie on a regular basis. But tap into your childlike energy because they're the most lighthearted individuals on our planet as children because they haven't been adulterated by adults and they don't know about paying bills, going to work, raising children. You know what I'm saying? All this stuff you have to deal with as an adult, your heart becomes heavy. So tap into your childlike energy. All right, y'all, 1234. Let's keep going a little bit more. Remember, l9shop.com, the number 9shop.com for your metaphysical needs. Best way to support me if you're wanting to do that. Also, I have a donate, slemyers.com/donate if you want to, donate to the God. But it's not necessary. Can I use nature like a tree or park as my ancestor altar? You can ever. I wouldn't recommend that. You're more tapping into fairies and earth elementals when you go in nature. So if you want to make an altar for like elves and fairies and gnomes and earth elementals, then go ahead. But I wouldn't recommend that for your ancestor altar. I would actually put that in your crib. But if you're inspired to do that, you don't need to ask me. Just do it. I've already talked about DMT and ayahuasca. That's a personal choice. My recommendation for most people is not to take ayahuasca. Most people are not emotionally balanced. Most people are not physically balanced. Most people are not financially. Most people do not live a balanced life. Let's just be real. You know what I'm saying? So if you're not living a balanced life, when you take ayahuasca, you may experience things that really spook you. You know what I'm saying? But it's a personal choice. But my recommendation for most of humanity is don't take it. for people that's spiritual, people that's really occult minded, people that aren't scared by Baphomets. You know what I mean? It's freaking crazy, man. Crazy how advanced people claim to be, but get spooked by stupid stuff. If you fall in that category, I wouldn't do ayahuasca. What up, Danielle? Got Deity Linkage manual. It finally broke 100 customer reviews on Amazon. And if I'm not mistaken, 4.8 out of 5 stars from 100 reviews on Amazon. The book is a certified classic. Don't listen to me. Go to Amazon and read the reviews. So I appreciate everybody that's caught that book. That's it. It's a perennial bestseller. It's always on the bestseller list. And I'm very, very what you call it, I'm grateful to be the author of that. You know what I'm saying? But I was definitely inspired by the Most High to do that book, and I see why now. It's changed a lot of people's lives, or helped change a lot of people's lives, I should say. Can you recommend a metaphysical class or school? I'm in Southern California. No, I cannot. Only besides mine, which is Spiritual Master Accelerator program, spiritualaccelerator.com. That's the only one I'll recommend. I don't know of any teachers. I only really co-sign a couple teachers. I don't know of any of them having classes in California. What's a good gratitude ritual to do? Just a gratitude journal. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for when you wake up. Write down 3 things that you're grateful for when you go to bed, and switch it up. Make yourself think of things to be grateful for. So just don't say air to breathe. You know what I mean? Like, really be specific. I'm grateful that I had internet so I can go check my emails. I'm grateful that my cousin called me. You know what I mean? Just be very specific. But I would just start a gratitude journal. That's probably the easiest thing you can do. Namaste. Have you ever practiced spirit magic? I'm not familiar with that terminology. There's so many new age terms. I probably have, but it was a different name. Question: me and my wife are team drivers. Is it okay to turn your truck into a rolling altar? We don't take much home time, but we want to make space to connect with our ends. Definitely. You can put a convertible altar or a portable altar. You can put that in your truck. Definitely recommend that, especially because that's when you drive a truck, especially over the road, that becomes your home. You know, that's what turned me off the over the road truck driving for real. I didn't like the idea of sleeping in a truck, being away from my fam for like months at a time, weeks at a time. But if you are driving a truck and you're in that truck every day, definitely put your altar there. So I would say adamantly yes with that. Yeah, MF Doom. We got the Baphomet. Yeah, Baphomet, Wu Tang, Tahuti, and MF Doom is by far my hip hop MC. So most cats on there know who he is, man. Okay, I'm not doing any more birthdays, y'all. I promise I'll come on here and do one for y'all. Realms beyond the astral plane are fifth dimension, sixth dimension, seventh dimension, and so forth. No specific time to do an ancestral altar. You can do it whenever. What I recommend is just do it at the same time so you get into a habit. So what I like to do is do it after dinner. Some people may want to do it before or after breakfast, but get in the habit of doing it around the same time so it becomes muscle memory. So you get to the point where, man, I forgot something. Oh, my offering. You know what I'm saying? Because I do it at dinner time, what I noticed, especially early on when I first started to alter, you know, I may forget consciously, but because I ate dinner, I'm like, hold on, I'm missing something. Oh, I gotta get my offering, whatever. So, but there's no specific time you have to do it. Which book? I'm assuming Deity Linkage Manual. I have 2 books. Motivite is considered a tektite, considered an extraterrestrial stone, mostly found in Czechoslovakia, and it was formed by a crashed meteorite. It's considered an extraterrestrial stone because it did not come from Earth. Extra meaning above, terrestrial meaning Earth, so above Earth, and it literally did not come from Earth. And it's common knowledge that Motivite helps you connect to higher beings and different beings. From my own experience, my first experience with the ET, I was using Motivite on my pineal gland. I'm talking from firsthand experience. I know for sure that it helps you connect to other realms. I've had people tell me, not just one or two people, a good number of people, and people that have a good spiritual maturity, tell me that they've had bugged out experience with Motivite, that it didn't mesh with their energy. So my experience, it seemed like one of those stones where you either love it or hate it. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, it's my favorite crystal by far. And we have it at l9shop.com. Okay, question. I continue to bring energy vampires and other unworthy people in my life. How do I end this pattern and bring the right people in my life? I think it's all attached to an abortion. If it's attached to an abortion, okay, if you had a name for the baby that you aborted, actually talk to it. Um, the abortion is coming up for a reason, especially if it came up in regards to your problem about the energy vampires. So what your spirit told you was the answer. So the better question would be, how can I help the aborted fetus or aborted child move on? It's as simple as talking to them. I've worked with a number of people, especially during consultations, that they've had aborted. Had a consult about 3 weeks ago where a lady had numerous abortions to the point where she couldn't even remember. And I gave her a ritual to do. I'm not going to get a full ritual out right now, but it's as simple as speaking to that aborted child. If you had a name for them, call it out by name. If you didn't have a name, just sit in your home quietly, light a candle, and call out to the soul of that aborted child. Tell them that you're sorry. Tell them the reason why you aborted them, and then ask for forgiveness or thank them for forgiving you. And then lastly, ask them to go on to the next level. Tell them that their work is done on this plane, and since they've forgiven you, to move on to their next level. Usually that's enough to take care of that. Sometimes you have to do more, and we don't have time to really get into that, but try that out. And if that doesn't work, schedule a consult with me or send me an email through my website. To be honest, I really don't reply and look at a lot of emails because I get a lot, but I will try my best. So if that's what happens to you, shoot it to me, and you know what I mean, and we'll see what we can do. I don't know of any practitioner of that. Are there any YouTubers you suggest watching? I like Pretty Boss TV. Yo, Kendra's cool people. Pretty Boss. Definitely recommend her. My brother Chris Enlighten, definitely recommend him for sure. The Enlightened Journey. DTHEE. Enlightened Journey. Sister Micaiah is on YouTube now. Believe hers is Lotus Capera. Kepera. Lotus Kepera, if I'm not mistaken, on YouTube. As far as astrology, I like KRS astrology. But to be here and to be honest, man, I'm not sitting watching YouTube. I'm not really, you know what I mean? So I don't know who's out currently or whatever, but those, that helps you out, Annie. Basically, here's the thing, y'all. Anybody with a YouTube channel, anybody can start a YouTube channel. And since anybody can start a YouTube channel, anybody can get on YouTube and start talking. What I always suggest is look and see what the people are saying. If they got a bunch of thumbs down and no thumbs up, more than likely their content is not beneficial. If they don't have too many people commenting, but they got a lot of subscribers, a lot of views, but not too many comments, more than likely they may not be producing quality content. But they got a good amount of subscribers. You see they're getting views. People are commenting saying thank you, or you know what I mean? You have to go to people's stuff or whatever. But my advice is period, regardless of how many YouTube, I'm sure there's hundreds of good quality YouTube channels that's talking about quality, but they may not all be good for you. And where I'm at in my path, I'm so comfortable realizing, understanding that I'm not the teacher for everyone. I'll recommend someone and they may be better fit for you, or someone else may be a better fit. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But you don't want to listen to too many people, is my point. So there could be 100 people giving great advice, but they all give you great advice. You got 100 pieces of advice. And what I know about humans is when you got 100 choices, more than likely you do nothing. When you got one choice, one shot, that's what you usually go for. So me personally, I've only resonated with 2 teachers that I defaulted to their knowledge if I didn't know it. So that means if I thought something but I didn't know for sure, I would lean on what they said, what they stated about whatever subject. There's not going to be too many people in your life that you come across that fit that description, if you would. Okay, just wanted to let you know I appreciate all your work. Thank you, appreciate that. I have a question. I'm having trouble remembering my dreams and possibly connected with Deity. I changed it. I just talked about dream recall. That's all you got to do. Just dream recall. Okay, are your emotions the main compass for evaluating the feedback from your environment? Maybe not, excuse me, maybe not the main compass, but definitely one of the main compasses. So to answer that question, I would say yes. Thoughts and emotions are synonymous. Thoughts and emotions are synonymous. I'm not going to go through and break it down, but my accelerator members should know this. So any thoughts you have or emotions, that will be a compass, a good compass for feedback on the environment. So I would say yes. How do our dreams and intuition separate from your emotions? Dreams are going to be like a report card of your emotions. Dreams are going to be like a report card of your emotions. So whatever you're going through in your waking life, you'll get a report of that in your dreams. That's why dreams could be like very mixed, or dreams could be like a continuation of what you've been doing throughout the day. Or it could be like because you watched this TV show, went to Walmart and talked to this person, all 3 elements would be in the dream or whatever. So dreams are like a report card for your daily emotions or whatever. Intuition Intuition is strictly just you receiving a thought, an inspired thought, and it can not be related to what's going on in your environment. So intuition is different, but intuition can spark a certain emotion in you. That's because everyone receives their intuitive thoughts differently. It's hard to conclusively tie your intuition and emotions together. Some people, when they get an intuitive thought, they get emotion invoked with them that's very strong. Some people get like hair tingles and physical reactions like I do or whatever. So it's kind of hard to determine, but a lot of people usually have some sort of emotional charge when they get intuitive downloads. So that's kind of like, yeah, I can see where that line of thinking come from. What's the end game to incarnation? End game to incarnation is never incarnating again. You stop incarnating when you become what we refer to as enlightened. Enlightened means that you see no separation from that which created you. Basically, you see no you are so tied and connected to the creator. You're so disconnected from this reality, not attached to this reality. That is when you don't incarnate again. If you are incarnating again, it's usually because you came here for a reason. Most people are incarnate for a reason. Now, most people choose to incarnate, but I know it's popular in the metaphysical community saying we all choose to be born. But that choice doesn't come from your human logic. Because most people wouldn't choose to be born to the parents that you were born to, have the income that you have, live in the place that you live. Most people wouldn't choose that. But when you made that choice, it wasn't from your human mind, it was from your soul level. In fact, you can even say it's from your spirit level. So you weren't thinking as a human or whatever. So you'd stop incarnating when you no longer need to do that. This is the best I can give you. If you graduated high school, would you go back to high school? What's the point? Earth is a school. So when you graduate school, you no longer have to go back to school. All right, y'all. I'm dumb starved, y'all. I'm about to take one more question, man. When do you know the right time to do the ancestor altar? You can do it whenever. The right time is the time that you're inspired to do. Hey, what up, Pick? Appreciate that, bro. What are your thoughts about marijuana when you're developing your third eye? For most people, it may become a retard or a hindrance. For some people, it may help you tap in. If it goes back to you have to know yourself because marijuana alters your consciousness. Anything that alters your consciousness alter your illusion and alter your reality. So when you think about it, most people use drugs to escape this reality. They want to see something different. If you think about it, enlightenment, consciousness, astral, all these things in the metaphysics is about experiencing something different. But from my experience and from people I work with, for most people, it retards that and holds them back. So that'd be my answer for that. Oh, that book is my Bible. I love to hear that. Can I do a video speaking about fear? I could do that one day. All right, this is the last one I'm gonna take. Can water fasting help you to become more spiritually enlightened? Fasting, period, advances your consciousness. Will it alone get you to enlightenment? Probably not. But will it get you closer? I for sure say with no shadow of a doubt that fasting, either juice fasting, water fasting, or abstaining from something is one of the top 10 practices you can do in order to become enlightened. Look at every religion, look at every spiritual text. They all refer to fasting. There's a reason why Jesus fasted, regardless if he's a fictional character and it's about as real as Mickey Mouse. He fasted before he taught. You feel me? Look at all the stories. They all talk about fasting. Islam, Ramadan. We can go on and on. So fast is one of the top 10 practices you can do, in my opinion, in order to become enlightened. All right, there you have it. So apologize to everybody. Didn't get the questions. I ain't know Doom was your favorite pick. My brother, man. Yeah, I'm just glancing through, man. I hate not answering everybody, but I'm starved, yo. I'm starved, yo. So remember L9shop.com, the number 9shop.com. For the rest of this month, 25% off crystal sets. Just put in set 25 or 25 set. I'm pretty sure it's SET 25. 25% off crystal sets. Other than that, we have a bunch of all your metaphysical supplies. Appreciate everybody always coming through and copping anyway, but I just want to let you know that's the best way to support me. I appreciate the thanks, I appreciate the shades, but if you truly appreciate my work and want to support l9shop.com. Also, if you're wanting to work with me one-on-one, slemyers.com, click on one-on-one to get a consultation. If you're wanting to work with me in my main flagship program, also with other members, we're at what? We got a good number of members. I don't want to put out there like that on YouTube, but we got a good number of members. A lot of those are elevated souls. And be honest, we got masters in the program at this point. Spiritual Master Accelerator program. Best way to work with me at affordable price. I'm there every day. That answer questions on a daily basis. So other than that, y'all appreciate the love. Appreciate everybody for coming through. Until next time, peace.